Welcome back. This week, the UN Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change released its report with dire warnings of time running out for the planet. Leading scientists say we have just 12 years to keep global warming below an average increase of 1.5 degrees Celsius. The world's demand for electricity is one of the biggest factors affecting greenhouse gas emissions. Renewables appear to be the way to go, but are they? Knox Msebenzi, the MD of the Nuclear Industry Association of South Africa, joins us now to discuss this. Thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. So electricity generation, of course, is a major factor when it comes to climate change. What's the solution, would you say?
The solution is really, because we are signatories as a country to the Paris Accord, so we need to bear that in mind. Basically, we need to have an energy mix. The best way to go forward as a country is to have an energy mix. We do have coal, and for us as a country to simply abandon it does not make sense, but there's also clean coal. But what is very, very important for us is the technology for nuclear is with us. We've been operating nuclear power plants for many years, Koeberg in Cape Town, and that has got to be part of the equation going forward.
Now, you mentioned the word nuclear in South Africa, and it raises eyebrows. When you mentioned it, I raised my eyebrows as well, because there was concern about nuclear energy and how it was going to be introduced in South Africa. Is that concern still warranted?
Nuclear is not being introduced in South Africa. We've been having Koeberg Power Station for many years. We can't talk about introducing something that has been operated
on a larger scale, introducing it on a larger scale.
Well, what difference does it make, really? If you raise, the purpose of your raising eyebrows is based on what? If we may just have that discussion, why do you raise eyebrows when you hear the word nuclear?
Well, it was obviously dependent on the money we would spend on bringing in nuclear energy into South Africa. The deal that was allegedly going to happen with the Russians. Those are concerns about communities also being affected by nuclear energy, the plants that were going to be built. Those were valid concerns. I mean, I don't know how you're asking me what exactly the concerns are, because they were debated in South Africa for a long time.
But remember, the discussion in the country has become really political. If you go to Koeberg right now, where the nuclear power plant has been in operation for more than 35 years, there are no concerns. People are living comfortably around Koeberg. You have never had any issue about Koeberg. So the concerns about communities where nuclear power plants are unfounded. Yes, there may be one or two incidents in the history of nuclear power in the world. But that is what happens with human behavior. To give you an example, in the transport sector, we routinely in this country probably kill to the tune of 30,000 people per annum. But that's what happens in civilization when you've got people. What we need to do is to manage and bring down any fatalities or any risks associated with any technology. Yeah. Statistically speaking, nuclear is the safest form of energy. If you look at the number of deaths attributable to per kilowatt hour or megawatt hour generated, nuclear is far the lowest. But then there is this unknown factor. People just don't know what nuclear is all about.
The costs?
And the costs also have been blown out of proportion. And it was a rhetoric which was meant to push in renewables. What basically has happened is people took a 20-year or 30-year program of implementation of nuclear fleet and assumed that it was going to be built overnight, and then lumped all the costs into that. But if you look at what is happening now, you can actually see that the option that we are going for with regards to renewables will probably cost more. But there is this guise that says because the renewables are supposed to be cheaper, there is not much talk about the trillions of rands that are going to spend. So it's the same thing.
So what's the right mix? You spoke about an energy mix for South Africa. What is the balance when it comes to that?
We believe that the IRP 2010 to 2030 was on the right track as a starting point of the roughly 10 gigawatts of nuclear. But we think that is going to be more as we decommission more of the coal power plants in Mpumalanga. We should replace them with similar baseload generation. So roughly speaking, it would make sense to have something in the region of a third nuclear, a third coal, and a third renewables. That would make a lot of sense. We just need to look at what is happening with our BRICS counterparts. There are 5 countries in the BRICS. We are the only country that is abandoning nuclear as it were. All the other countries, China, Russia, Brazil, and India, are going big on nuclear. They are also going big on renewables. So we are not saying, as the nuclear industry, we should not do renewables. We are not saying that we should not do coal. We are saying we should have a healthy mix in order to develop our country going forward.
All right, thank you so much for your time and your insight. We appreciate it. That, of course, was Knox Msebenzi, MD of the Nuclear Industry Association of South Africa.